What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here. So in today's video, we are discussing how to pay less taxes as an Uber and a Lyft driver and a gig worker. So if you drive for any of the major gig apps. So firstly, did want to say, I am not a certified public accountant. I am just a YouTuber sitting in my 2011 Ford Escape that barely runs. And I'm talking about taxes from my perspective. And you know how I filed taxes throughout the years as a self-employed gig worker. So yeah, what I want to say, tax season is coming up though. You know, it's February right now, so it's right around the corner. I don't even know when you got to file it, but I know it's coming up either in March or April, I believe. So with that being said, let's talk about Uber and Lyft and gig working taxes. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. The number one thing you can do right now to prepare for taxes is sign up for an app called Solo. I'm gonna have the link below. If you drive for any of the major gig apps, this app will change your entire life when it comes to filing your taxes. Why? Because they help you track your mileage. They help you, your miles. They help you track your expenses for tax write-offs. And you can sign up for Solo. They have a free version nationwide. And because they're a new app, they're trying to get a lot of gig workers. They're gonna send you 10 bucks just for signing up for free. It's like, really? They're like, yeah. They're like, we got some funding, I mean, they didn't say that, but I looked up, they got some funding, and you know, they're trying to get a lot of new users. Makes sense, right? That's how they make money, make more users and whatever. They show their investors, they got a bunch of users and whatever. So, but you can sign up for Solo, and I will walk you guys through it because I do think it is really important. But also, I want to say that there's some other things you can do. Number one, I'm gonna say, at least for me, I'm gonna talk about it from my perspective. The best way that I have personally saved money filing my taxes is tracking my miles. Why? Because as a Lyft driver, as an Uber driver, you drive a boatload. I'll put it that way. You drive thousands of more miles than the average person, right? The average person who commutes to work drives 10 to 15,000 miles a year. The average Uber driver, again, this is not based off statistics, but I know a lot of drivers who drive over 50,000 miles per year, 80,000 miles per year, right? An absurd amount of miles. If you ever looked at your mileage when you start at one day and you drive for Uber 10, 12 hours, you probably drove around 300-400 miles, and that's not even a joke. And the IRS has allowed you to use that as a business expense. Now, Uber and Lyft but they track miles as well when you're online only. They don't count any of the miles where you're offline. You know, you gotta go fill up gas, right? You're still technically working, right? When you go home at the end of the night, right? You're technically commuting back home. When you're driving around, you're going to a busier area, right? What else? When you're going to get food, right? All of these miles that you're driving, and again, please consult a CPA. I am not a certified public accountant. I want to make that very clear. This is not tax advice or legal advice or financial advice, for that matter, legal matter. But the CPA will be able to tell you. You can get a CPA pretty easily, by the way, if you really want to, and or you can go through Solo. Remember, Solo helps you prepare for taxes too. But these miles that you drive, you know, the IRS, I believe right now, I think it's 63 cents per mile. 63 cents per mile, IRS. Is that what it is right now? Yeah, it's 63.5 cents per mile driven. So if you drive 10,000 miles, that's $6,300 and 500 bucks that you wouldn't have to pay taxes on. And a lot of like, let's just say theoretically, I mean, this is kind of absurd, but like, let's say you drove 100,000 miles, that's 63,000, potentially 63,500 bucks in business mile of dollars that you wouldn't have to pay taxes on. I mean, like, that's crazy. So if you can do your taxes smart and correctly, a lot of drivers pay very little in taxes. Now, the risk. If you don't file your taxes correctly, and I'm here to scare you a little bit. If you don't track your miles, if you're not tracking your expenses, you could potentially owe a lot of freaking money to the IRS. come when you're supposed to get your refund, or, you know, I mean, the best case scenario is you don't pay any, you don't get a refund, or you don't owe any extra, right? You do it all correctly. But let's say when you gotta pay your tax bill, yeah, sometimes you gotta pay a lot of freaking money if you're not inputting all your miles and all that stuff correctly. So, what else? Anything you use to help your business experience. This cord, this is a Apple cord. This is from the Apple store. They charge like 30 bucks for these now. I'm pretty sure 30, 40 bucks. What else? You got a, I got this little phone charger, right? Or it's a phone, it's a phone case. Comes with a built-in charger. This thing was like 80, 90 bucks, right? I use that for my business. What else? I don't know, but like your car, I mean, your gas, like you should be tracking all of these things. And again, I'm not gonna tell you what is a tax write-off and what's not, because I know the rules are always changing, but just wanted to kind of hopefully steer you guys in the right direction. If you can learn anything from this video, is number one, sign up for an app like Solo, so that you can start tracking your miles properly, tracking all your expenses. It's never too late to start, say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna start doing it now. Start doing it. Or number two, go talk to a accountant. Go talk to a CPA, a certified public accountant. And you don't wanna call them up the day before you gotta file your taxes. You wanna call them up earlier. Preferably months before. I know it's already February, it's already pretty late, but like call up, go on Google in your area and go try to talk to them in person. A lot of these accountants, by the way, do free consultations. They'll give you free advice because, you know, you're kind of scoping them out and you're like, hey, why should I work with you? And they tell them, maybe they give you some free advice, maybe they point you in the right direction. I know one accountant in specific who only charges $200 to file your taxes, and he does, you know, he does it all. Like, he asks you what you need to send him, everything. He helps you with all your write-offs and stuff. That's an accountant that I know personally. I know for bigger businesses, if you have, you know, tons of different streams of income, it could be like 500 bucks. But I do know that accountants aren't incredibly expensive, and the price that you pay the accountant also could be a tax write-off in itself, a business expense, because, you know, he's helping you with your business. So it's like, yeah, you are paying him, but it's also like, it's like money that you wouldn't have to pay in tax, money that you would have to pay in tax, money that would have been taxed if you hadn't paid him or her. So anyways, I'm gonna end the video there, but that's my general advice for like, if my buddy who's an Uber driver, he's like, dude, I made 80 grand a year driving Uber. That's basically what I would tell him. It's like, track your dang miles, track your dang expenses, and try to, you know, put that in an Excel sheet. You can file on your own through TurboTax or something like that. But when they do it, make sure you have all that data written down of all of your meals that you've eaten, all of your gas that you've eaten, all of your car expenses, all of your car repairs, all your new tires, make sure the miles, I would say, is probably at the top of the list. Make sure you have all your miles written down properly, you're tracking those correctly, and you can do that in an app like Solo. Well, again, link below. And then either do, if you feel like you got it down, if you feel really confident, I would do, you know, use something like TurboTax. Or if you don't feel confident, I would say go talk to an accountant. And again, you're gonna pay them a couple $100, but like, you know, maybe you go drive Uber an extra day. Go make $200-300 extra, and use that money to pay an accountant, and it's totally fine. I use an accountant. It's totally fine to use an accountant, and they'll teach you, and maybe next year you can do it on your own if you feel more confident. Or honestly, it's probably, in my opinion, it's probably better to pay somebody, because they're gonna help you save more money typically. I'm trying to use these words like typically or like maybe, because I don't want to like promise anything at all. So again, just big disclaimer, I'm not promising that you're gonna owe less in taxes if you followed my advice. I'm not gonna promise that you won't owe any money in taxes. I'm just giving some general ballpark advice on how for filing your taxes. And again, I'm not an accountant, so I recommend talking with one, an actual one. So thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. Let me know your thoughts, and yeah, good luck out there. All right, bye now.